Census data released this year shows that 39%, equivalent to 13.8 million young Kenyans, are jobless, further widening the gap between the rich and the poor. "Kindly help me get a job, I'm a graduate in BCom procurement," is a statement written on her piece of cloth, clearly communicating the desperation of a person totally heartbroken by an employment crisis that has rocked the job market in the country. Winnie Kimeu graduated with a bachelor in procurement from the University of Nairobi back in the year 2015, but since then, her certificate is yet to show returns.
I'm a graduate from UNN. I've done BCom procurement. I graduated 2015. I've also done nursing incomplete that I did from 2009 up to 2012. Then from there, that's when I started again the BCom. I took it up to 2015 and I finished. From there, when I finished 2015, I got married. I didn't, 2016, yeah, that was on January. I got married 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. That's when I started hustling and looking for a job.
Her qualifications speaks volumes of knowledge from a graduate who studied with zeal to earn a decent life. Her life has turned bitter, with unemployment frustrations leaving her in great distress.
Being back to the house, and I didn't have those savings because I started working for that company. That was last year, August. The situation was not that easy for me to make it in life with my 2 kids. So, and March I was still in the house. April I said I'm not going to stay in the house because I thought the corona will be over. I went to do hustling, to buy cakes and sell. That is in Kariobangi.
Not even a job, getting an internship is still a nightmare haunting Winnie Kimeu. With no job opportunities in sight, Winnie and a mother of 2 had to make a quick decision that will raise the probability of her getting a job. She started walking around Nairobi's central business district with a placard advertising her competencies to probable employers. How does it really feel to beg for a job?
By the end of May, I was like, life is not that easy. I said, let me write something, go to the streets and look for a job. That's when I wrote a poster. I went to the streets. I took 2 days to write it, preparing everything, buying the materials and making it. It's me who made it. It was not easy because I woke up and I was like, God, where am I going? What am I going to do? And whatever I stand there, and even my lecturers who told me the University of Nairobi see me, they will be like, Winnie, what's not happening? And I just went there and stood there because I said I have applied jobs, more than 100 jobs, but I've never gotten a response that come even for an interview.
Empty pockets have left her in uncertainty. She has 2 mouths to feed daily. It is from this job-begging business that Winnie was able to secure some funding from a well-wisher that made her begin her mask-selling business. She still believes that there is still some light ahead. Many have graduated with bachelors and even masters, bringing with hope for a better future only to end up devastated. Who is to blame? There are thousands of Kenyan students who graduate every year in universities like this in the country, with their papers ending up remaining under their mattresses. Now, what could be the main problem? Is the Kenyan system of education the main challenge to many? Are there any solutions to this? Zitec University Vice Chancellor Professor Njanga Munene might be having a couple of ideas that might solve an employment crisis in the country.
Oh, welcome. How are you? This is enough for you to enjoy your stay here.
Zitec University Vice Chancellor Professor Njanga Munene is very optimistic that CBC system of education will solve the unemployment equation that has left many graduates hopeless for a better life.
Education system have had its own challenges, and that's why I believe totally that the changing of the education system to competence-based learning is actually the move to the right direction. And I want to make an observation that I spent 1 year in Japan in 1997-1998, and observing the kind of education they give children from basic education all the way to the university. The education is extremely practical.
The new curriculum is expected to be the bedrock on which Vision 2030 and the Big Four agenda should be anchored on. But will it see the creation of more job opportunities to mitigate an unemployment crisis? For over 20 years, the 844 system has been seen as merely a process of imparting information, with greatest undoing for the system remaining to be the value it attaches to passing of exams. What makes the difference between students who get a job even before they graduate and those that lack positions in public and private companies even after graduating? It is in Westlands that is situated in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, and I'm here to meet Nelson Nandi Mandela, one of the few students who are able to get a job even before they graduated. Nelson Nandi Mandela is a student at Zurich University pursuing Bachelor in Procurement. He was able to secure a job at Trinity Center while still a student. But before starting his attachment here,
I was being now needed in more than 5 companies at the moment who are willing to give me a space in their industry just to carry out my internship.
He says that aggressiveness might have pushed him a notch higher into the world of employment.
The virtue of aggressiveness, it gave me an opportunity to get to know very many people that I had not linked with before.
Eunice Omboy, the administrator at Trinity Center and one who was Mandela's supervisor during his internship, is linking the rate of unemployment with Kenya's system of education.
The rate of unemployment is high and it's still rising. Again, we can associate it to the nature of, should I say, the academic work. I would say the school work should be more tailored to the industrial work.
Professor Njenga is advocating for a nation where local manufacturing is given a priority, emphasizing that this will see many youths get employed.
When it became apparent that we cannot import face masks, they have been made by many organizations. So we are making money out of face masks which are locally produced and are effective in preventing transmission of COVID-19. Now, we have sanitizers. If they are made in the country and they are being made in a country, that creates jobs. But a lot of times, we find ourselves importing virtually 90% of our national requirements. Whether we are talking about glasses, whether we are talking about paper, whether we are talking about ceramics, whether we are talking about computers, whether we are talking about mobile phones, whatever it is that we are using, a lot of the stuff that we are using in this country are imported. Now, if you import everything, how would you create jobs? Because jobs are created in the value of production and provision of services.
Now, Winnie Kimeu is just one among thousands of Kenyan graduates who are feeling the lethal pinch resulted by unemployment crisis in the country. She's now appealing for assistance to get a job. Mark Kimondo for Hope TV, Nairobi.